underlying causes for possible remedies. Mama, the board continues to battle with the malady of examination malpractice, the magnitude of which is worse at PLE level, perhaps due to the very many stakeholders involved, each with varied interests. The major form encountered this year has been teachers found. The board is grateful to the UNEB Act. The board is grateful that the UNEB Act 2021 is now providing stringent penalties. We also hope that soon regulations to support the Act will be issued through a statutory instrument now that UNEB and the ministry have concluded the stages as per your guidance, Mama. Mama, the challenge the board faces now is the fact that these cases, where currently there are 21, are in courts of law in various parts of the country. Following up these cases and transporting witnesses with the many adjustments, adjournments, have become another burden on the board's budget. The board has made a proposal for a special utility court which would concentrate all cases in one place and ensure a faster conclusion of the cases. For this act to have an impact and serve the purpose of deterrence, the cases need to be dealt with expeditiously. A special court could solve many of the problems the board now faces in handling these cases. The board wishes to seek your support in this quest, Mama. Mama, the board is extremely grateful to you for your prayers, support, and encouragement. That is the fuel that energizes us. We are grateful to Parliament for appropriating the funds the board has used and the Minister of Finance for the timely releases. The security agencies have been very supportive throughout the process. The board is duly grateful. To the field officers at various levels who participated effectively in the conduct of the examination, and the teachers who took off time to mark the scripts, I say thank you on behalf of the board. I congratulate candidates who passed. I also thank the teachers who prepared them and the parents and guardians who provide. For a very successful hosting of the three summits, the NAM, IGAD, and the G77 plus China, within a very short space of time. I can imagine the immense benefits we, as a country, stand to repeat from the very positive exposure we have had. Mama, allow me now to call on the Executive Director to present a statement of the release of results for the 2023 Primary Living Examination. Thank you for listening to me.
Discover the untapped treasures of Uganda's fertile soil in a journey that unearths the true essence of its agricultural brilliance. Uganda's bound
and to everyone who has been with us and of course following live on TV as well. As you heard the Honorable Minister say, the regulations are not to be kept, they are to be read, so let's make sure we actually read them. Could we kindly do one more picture where we are holding the regulations? Can we get copies so that the Honorable Minister and the PSST and the PSS can each hold one? And then we'll do one more picture for the Honorable Minister and the PSST and the PSS.
The back-to-school season
numbers are cumulative and the percentages are also cumulative. It shows that in 2023, 11.8% of our candidates obtained Division 1 compared to 14.1%. So there was a slight decline at that level. Also at Division 2, a total of 57.4% of the candidates are passing at Division 2 and above. This includes also those that passed in Division 1 because these are cumulative percentages. This compares to 58.2, again showing that there was a slight, not very significant decrease in proportions. At Division 3 and above, we now see that more of the candidates that took the examination in 2023 obtained that grade cumulatively, that is 78.6 compared to 76.2. Overall, the number of candidates that have passed are just about, they are the same, 88.0 and also 88.0 the previous year. The number of candidates who were ungraded, that is those that did not obtain the necessary scores to be given a grade 4 minimum, dropped. We now have 10.4% of these candidates were ungraded compared to 12% in the previous year. So proportionally, fewer candidates failed the examination compared to the previous year. And the ones that have been awarded Division U, who are in the ungraded division, are not eligible for admission to the next level. It should be noted, Mama, that the number of candidates in this Division U is quite high at 88,269 or 10.4%. And this should raise concern so that they just do not add up to the statistics of school dropouts. There are districts such as Kibuko district where 31.5% of the candidates are ungraded, Madio Kolo at 31.5%, Dokolo at 28.9%, Queen with 28.4%, Namisindwa at 28.9%. The percentages in these districts and others that has not been mentioned is well above the national average. Many other districts have 20% or more of candidates in this division. Mama, we have provided the statistics where we are showing the performance of candidates per district, showing the numbers that have passed in the different grades, including that Division U. It is necessary to find out the causes and address them. We want to report now, Mama, on the overall performance by gender. We are giving the division passes for males and females, and this indicates that at Division 1 there are more males, at Division 2 there are also more males, and then the females have tended to come from the wrong side of the table. Mama, I'd like to report also on the performance of special candidate groups. These are the prison inmates. The Uganda National Examinations Board maintains an examination center at the Uganda Government Upper Prison School in Luzira. This is in a bid to assist the prison's service in their efforts to rehabilitate the offenders who are incarcerated in there. Mama, this year, 2023, 69 candidates were registered compared to almost a similar number of 68 in 2022. And of these 69 candidates, 60 of them sat, and we don't know the reason why the other 9 were not there. Maybe they were released before the examination. And 2 of them passed in Division 1, 32 of them obtained Division 2, 15 were in Division 3, 5 obtained Division 4, and the others were ungraded. This is quite a commendable performance, comparable to the candidates who sat under other normal conditions. Mama, I also report on the special needs candidates, particularly those that require assistance the physically handicapped, where the physical disability affects their handwriting, their ability to write. There were 24 that were registered. One passed in Division 1. The majority passed in Division 2. The blind were 44, and one passed in Division 1. The 23 were in Division 2. 16 were in Division 3. 4 passed in Division 4. And there was no ungraded candidate, just like the physically handicapped. The partially blind perhaps did much better than the other groups, where 70 obtained Division 1 and a large number passed in Division 2, 3, and 4. But there was also a sizable number that passed that were in Division U. The number of this category was 624. The deaf, there were 270 of them that sat. None of them obtained Division 1. 40 obtained Division 2. 45 were in Division 3 and 60 in Division 4. And 119 were ungraded. The dyslexics have performed extremely well, also at 49 of them in Division 1, 413 in Division 2, out of the 611 that had sat. Of the SNE candidates that we registered, we realized that 46 of them did not report to take the examination. The category of SNE candidates who needed only extra time, we have not included them in this table. But from the table, it appears, Mama, that the category of the deaf are most affected by their form of disability compared to the others. As the chairperson has said in his remarks, quite a big number of them have not been graded, up to 44%. The board has taken an interest in this category and will carry out an analysis of the trends of their performance for the last 5 years, so as to find out if there is something that has to be done to improve their ability to perform well in the examination. Mama, I also want to make some comments on the examination malpractice. The scouts and our markers reported a number of cases of suspected external assistance that were rendered to candidates by third parties inside the examination room, and many of these are teachers. 5 of them were caught red-handed in different parts of the country, writing mathematics calculations on the board as the examination progressed. Others were found to have written solutions on small sheets or papers, and they would pass this to the children to copy. Many of these who were arrested have been produced in court, and they have been charged under the relevant sections of the Act. Mama, the board engaged with the district inspectors of schools on the quality of persons used to distribute the examination, from the police storage stations to the sitting centers. As a result of this engagement, which, Mama, you remember guiding, the criminal practice of cutting open the question paper envelopes by distributors and sharing the questions through social media was controlled. This practice had become rampant. There were other measures put in place along with the support of the security agencies, and this resulted in the examination atmosphere being much calmer than before. In accordance with Section 5, subsection 2B of the UNEP Act 2021, the board will withhold the results the UNEP Act 2021, the board will withhold the results of the suspects pending completion of investigations. Where there will be a prima facie case, the board's tribunal, the Examination Security Committee, will accord all the affected candidates a fair hearing before making final decisions as to whether the results will be released when the tribunal maybe does not find sufficient evidence, or that the results will be cancelled when there is sufficient evidence for that effect. After the conclusion of the hearings by the board's tribunal, the list of districts and schools with cancelled results will be published. Mama, I know the press will be itching to ask me how many of these have been withheld. As I have said, it is premature at this time because tribunal may release results, some of these results that are withheld, and it will be an erroneous statistic to say so many are affected when some may be released. So this information will be given at due time. I now comment briefly on the report on the work of candidates. In the course of marking, examiners observed, as they have done, areas where candidates showed weaknesses. These observations have been compiled and will be produced in a document which we call Report on the Work of Candidates. And it will contain advice to the teachers on how to handle the areas that have been identified. All stakeholders, particularly the teachers, are urged to utilize this report because, Mama, this report contains very, very useful information that will help improve the teaching, learning in all the 4 subjects. Mama, allow me to express our gratitude. I would like to join the board chair in thanking you, Mama, for the support that we received and we continue to receive from you, that ensure that we receive the necessary funds to run the examination. And we also thank the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development for releasing the funds that Parliament appropriates to us. This time, Mama, they have done it within a reasonable time, and the examination activities run as scheduled. I want to thank the chairperson, former chairperson, Professor Mary Okwakol, under whom most of the activities of this examination took place. The current chairman, Professor Boa, hit the ground running in the middle of this, and him together with the board continued to oversee the activities of management. So we thank them for good governance and guidance. Ma'am, I want to thank the Inspector General of Police. They gave me a team of senior police officers to work with during this examination period. And also the Chief of the Defense Forces also gave me a team from the military police that greatly assisted us in the distribution and overseeing the security of examinations at the storage stations in the field and also during the marking exercise. Mama, the forces' way of greeting is to salute, and with your permission, I would like to invite Superintendent of Police Francis Akabwai and Brigadier General Bainomu Gishad, Commandant of the Military Police, who are here, to just step forward and greet you before I proceed. I don't think Mama has seen you. You are far behind. If you kindly step in the open so that... Mama, these are the persons representing the two forces that helped us greatly during the examination, and the board and management extremely grateful to them. Ma'am, I also want to thank the district leaders, the chief administrative officers, district and urban education officials, monitors, scouts, and invigilators for their participation and support in the field conduct of the examination, and also the examiners who took time to mark these examinations. Honorable Minister, I wish in a very special way to appreciate the staff of the Uganda National Examinations Board Secretariat who always rise to the occasion to serve their country with dedication and hard work. Mama, these are the unsung heroes. I also like, with your permission, to allow them to step in front and take a bow so that you see the ones who are representing the others who are here. Mama, they are led by the Director Examinations on your extreme left, and the others are representing the Directorate of Examinations and the Public Relations Office. This is representing the team that works so hard behind the scenes. Ma'am, I would like to thank the media for the role that they played and they continue to play in giving prominence to examination activities and also exposing malpractice. Those pictures of the suspects that they took and that appeared in the electronic and print media played very, very deterrent roles during that time. I wish to congratulate all the candidates who have passed the examination at whatever grade they obtained, because all the grades from 1 to 4 will enable them to proceed to the next level. We would like to thank the teachers who prepared them and also their parents and guardians for the support. Finally, I wish to thank the institutions that allowed the Uganda National Examinations Board to use their premises and facilities to mark the PLE, despite the fact that this exercise affected their school holiday and the Christmas period. For collection of results, Mama, I want to inform the country that results will be uploaded on the center portals. We now have a direct electronic link with every examination center, and as soon as you release results for use by the public, we shall upload these results on the portals so that they can download their results from the comfort of their schools or from wherever they can do. However, the district and municipal and city inspectors of schools may still collect the hard copies. We shall make them available for each school in each district and local governments. This may be collected from our offices in Ntinda starting from Monday, 29th January 2024. As of now, there are no hard copies available, and I do not advise any district inspector of schools to travel to UNEB today or even tomorrow, which in any case happens to be a public holiday. No copies are available as of now. As I've said, parents and candidates and other interested parties may also use the SMS on their mobile networks, which will post the results of their candidates on their mobile sets instantly. I just wish to remind them on how to get this message. They will open the menu, the message menu, then type PLE, then leave space and type the full index number of the candidates. After you've typed the full index number of the candidate of your interest, you send this to 66000 on the MTN and Airtel networks. Many times people get this instruction wrong and they start ringing our public relations office and everybody else telling them that they cannot get the results. So I want to repeat that they should type PLE, leave a space, and the full index number of the candidates. When I talk about index number, I mean the school number, which is several digits, and then the individual number of the candidate. These candidates should be able to know their numbers and send to 6600. They should be able to get their results instantly. Honorable Minister Mama, thank you so much for listening to me. I submit.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dongo. Before you resume your seat, I would like you to accompany your chairperson. And in recognition of the contribution of the former chairperson, please, Professor Kwakol, accompany the current chairperson and the executive director to hand over the results. Professor, you're not expired, you're inspired. So please step forward and hand over the results to the First Lady. Thank you, Professor Celestino, former Chair Professor Kwakol, and Executive Director Daniel Odong. Now I'll invite Honorable Joyce Kaduchu to invite Mama to give her statement. Honorable, you're welcome.
Mama, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, my colleague, the Honorable Ministers of States in the Ministry of Education and Sports, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education and Sports, the Chairperson of the Board and the former Chair of the Board, the Executive Director of UNEB, all the senior members of staff of the Ministry of Education and Sports and UNEB, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Mama, today we are here to celebrate a credible achievement in the education cycle of our children, which is the foundation for them to realize their full potentials. This achievement wouldn't have been possible if it were not for the sacrifice and hard work of thousands of our heroes under your able leadership, Mama. On behalf of the education fraternity, and on my own behalf, permit me to congratulate you, Mama Janet, and all the candidates, the parents, the teachers, and all stakeholders as we celebrate the 2023 PLE results. We do not take this achievement for granted. This is a huge milestone because it directly impacts on the future of our learners. Mama, your leadership and strategic guidance of the education sector in this country has made it possible for us to work hard as a team and to achieve these results. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been called here to invite Mama, but permit me to give 2 points before I invite Mama to address the country and officially release the PLE 2023 results. Point number 1. There is a biblical story about the parable of the talents in Matthew 25:14-30. Tells us of a master who was leaving his house to travel, and before leaving, he entrusted his property to his servants. According to the ability of each servant, one servant received 5 talents. The second servant received 2, and the third received 1 talent. Upon returning home after long absence, the master asked his 3 servants for an accountability of the talents he had entrusted to them. The first and the second servants explained that they each put their talents to work and had doubled the value of the property with which they were entrusted. Each servant was rewarded. The master said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I'll make you ruler over many things." Similarly, ladies and gentlemen, we have all been entrusted with a responsibility according to our ability to secure the future of our children. As leaders, as directors, as head teachers, as teachers, as parents, as non-teaching staff, etc., etc. Today, we are called upon to give full accountability on how we use our talents to produce the best results in order to secure the future of our children. The PLE 2023 results will certainly reflect our individual and collective responsibility and commitment towards laying a solid foundation for our children for better learning outcomes. The PLE results is one of the most important indicators to evaluate progress made by government and all stakeholders in improving access and equity, efficiency and quality of teaching and learning outcome through a shared responsibility. It's therefore my prayer that we all play our individual roles in order to produce a comprehensive all-round children for the future of our country. Point number 2, Mama, permit me to salute our fountain of honor, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for being the brainchild behind the UPE program in Uganda. To date, the literacy level in Uganda has significantly improved. It has gone to 76% from 43% in 1997. This increment is very critical for Uganda, for Uganda's desired goal of transforming the economy into a modern country. The UPE strategy showed the school enrollment increase from 2.5 million in 1996 to 3.1 learners in 1997 when UPE was introduced. And now the enrollment stands at 8.6 million learners in government-aided schools that are getting UPE capitation grant. Today, ladies and gentlemen, as Mama releases the results, 66.9% of the candidates are UPE beneficiaries compared to 33.1% of the candidates who are in non-UPE schools. The UPE program in Uganda demonstrates that a country like Uganda can fight poverty through ensuring universal access to education for its citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the significant achievement of bringing services to our children closer, there are still some few challenges in delivering these services. And the good news is that we are all committed to play our different roles towards overcoming these challenges. Mama, the timely conclusion of the examination process is indeed a true confirmation that UNEB is always prepared to perform despite all the challenges that they do encounter. I am pleased to record to you, Mama, fighting examination malpractices than ever before. We applaud UNEB for standing tall in maintaining the integrity of our examinations over the years. As I conclude, to our parents, being a parent is an incredible blessing from the Lord. Raising children and watching them grow into your expectations, please carry them, show them love, encourage them and give them hope, because their future is still bright with our collective support and guidance. Lastly, I'm appealing to all parents, guidance and sponsors to register all our children in schools and let them report to schools promptly for the new term that begins on Monday, 5th February 2024. I say all this for God and my country. It's now my singular honor and my privilege to now invite you, Mama, the First Lady, and the Minister of Education and Sports, to address the nation and officially release the PLE 2023 results. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to welcome Mama as she comes to address the nation.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Kaduchu. Please sit down. My colleagues, the Honorable Ministers of State present here this afternoon, the PS for the Ministry of Education and Sports, and your team, the Chairperson of UNEB, the Executive Director for UNEB and your team, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you and Happy New Year to you all. I wish to first of all thank God for the very gift of life and for a new year, and that He is so gracious to us that we all are here. None of us is missing. We must remember to thank Him for His faithfulness. He has indeed enabled us as a ministry and as a country to complete the 2023 school calendar activities, now culminating in the release of the 2023 primary leaving examination results. We thank God for the lives of our children, their parents, and teachers who have walked with them throughout their primary education cycle. We also condole with the families that may have lost their children to one cause or another, as well as teachers who passed away on duty. The calling upon teachers the calling on teachers, we must always remember, is a special calling. It is unique because it is sacrificial, and much cannot be accomplished in the learner's time in school when the teacher is unavailable. You all heard for yourselves the statement of release of results by the Executive Director of UNEP. I note that the number of learners who were registered for the PLE in 2023 decreased compared with what we had in 2022, and you had the explanation for that. The decrease was anticipated as the impact of COVID-19 on the education system started to wane, and so is the distortion in enrollment in the pre-primary 7 classes, especially P6. The major COVID-19 recovery intervention that is still underway in the education sector is implementation of the abridged curriculum. I have been informed by the National Curriculum Development Center that the P7 and S4 cohorts of 2024 are the last classes of learners utilizing the abridged curriculum. Thereafter, we shall be using the full primary school curriculum and the revised O-level curriculum after this year. I'm happy to see that this year, the negative development of absentee candidates to PLE has been reversed. In fact, the rate has come down to the lowest level compared to the previous 5 years, as you heard Mr. Odong inform us and inform the country. Nonetheless, 1.6% or 12,000 pupils who were absent remains a large number. When a child fails to show up for their end of cycle examination, it is a wastage of that life which had spent 6 to now 7 parents. It is a wastage of that life which had spent 6 to now 7 parents and to the teachers to ensure that a child who has been registered to sit their end of cycle examination does not miss doing so. Whereas I recognize the great strides the country has made taken in bringing about gender parity in access to primary education for boys and girls, I observe the concerning trend regarding the boy child. The statistics from UNEP indicate that we are now seeing an undesirable trend whereby more and more girls are completing the primary education cycle while boys are increasingly dropping out. This is a moment for us as a sector to look back and reflect on this undesirable trend. Why is a boy child not completing primary education? We must all begin to get worried and try to find out what is the answer to this question. We need to prescribe solutions that address the fundamental causes to prevent this negative trend from getting out of control. Now, I must continue to thank UNEP for the amount of work they do to ensure that our children with special learning needs are adequately prepared to take the examination. In In my view, the number of special needs education learners who sit PLE are increasing, not because we are having more children with disabilities, but the sensitization being done and realization by more parents that these children must not be kept at home, but that they also must go to school, just like all other children. I appreciate the concern by the chairperson that the provision of the necessary accommodation, devices, and personnel for the special needs candidates is costing the examination process for this category of learners a lot more money, as you heard him inform us. We shall study further this area of assessment and examination of special needs learners and see what feasible interventions we need to make in a manageable manner without compromising the quality of education this category of learners assesses and attains. From the Executive Director's report, I observed that a high number of candidates did not attain the grades where one would be considered as having passed. Therefore, quality for the PLE certificate, they didn't qualify for the PLE certificates. Government is going to ensure that this trend is reversed right from its root cause. That said, as government, we need to provide a pathway of hope to these learners. Therefore, I have instructed the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Education and Sports to communicate to the respective accounting officers in the local governments that such learners be accorded an opportunity to repeat primary 7 in all public primary schools. And then we can all work hard with them to better their grades to a level where they can qualify for the various opportunities of education beyond primary 7. Meaning, as the children try to work hard themselves, the parents must support them, the teachers must support them, and also the Ministry of Education do everything it will take to support these children so that we see them through this level of education so that they too can at least get a certificate for primary education as they go out into the world. Even if they don't continue, but at least they have that certificate in their hands. Furthermore, as a ministry, we are going to have to review the arrangement where learners were being progressed to the next class before attaining the minimum knowledge and skills as evidence of learning. This means that the head teachers and classroom teachers alike need to be of education. The education standards to work with the district education offices to ensure that capacity is built in our schools to utilize formative assessment, because promoting a learner to the next class simply because the year has come to an end is a disservice to that child, to education, and to the country. That said, now, allow me to also appreciate the efforts of the various security agencies of government that jointly support UNEB in achieving our ministry mandate during these end of cycle examinations. I call upon the Uganda Police Force and the judiciary to help us bring to book those persons proven the act of assisting learners to cheat in examinations and credibility of the entire education system and the integrity of the country at large. When such learners who cheat go through unmasked, it communicates a bad image to the peers and models a terrible trend in education and in examination. I now congratulate the candidates who have performed well and thank everyone who played a role in bringing forth the achievement of the 2023 PLE. I thank the immediate former chairperson of UNEB, Professor Mary Okokor, because most of the 2023 UNEB exams were prepared during her term of office, as you heard from the present chairperson. With that, I welcome Professor Obua as well as a new chairperson, and I trust that he will build on the strong foundations his predecessor laid down. Lastly, I'd like to inform the public that the selection exercises of Senior 1 will take place on the 1st and 2nd of February 2024. Thereafter, the first term for the Senior 1 cohort of 2024 will